Are we live?
Okay, say it again. Say it again. Say what you just say what you were just saying. And say it. No. And say it with your say it with your chest. Stand on it. What'd you just say to me?
I said, I'm really surprised that you like wrestling. And you said, why? And I said, because out of all of the sports or different things, I am surprised that you like the fake ass kicking show versus other sports like UFC or something that's like a real ass kicking show. That's exactly what I said.
Okay, so you personally,
I said I'm surprised you like it.
Can I get a word in, please? Can I get a word in? You personally watch 13 hours with John Krasinski.
Right.
7 times a week.
Right.
Is that real? Is that a real movie? Is he really a Navy SEAL?
Why? Answer this question. Why am I watching that movie?
Oh, don't you even try. I know where you're getting ready to go with this, and don't you even try to rope me into that. I'm assuming you're watching it because you think the guys are hot. Is that what you're getting ready? Is that what you're getting ready to say, Morgan?
Ass.
That I have a pseudo fetish for hot guys who are all ripped and oiled up, wearing their short uniforms.
If we talked about what you could name, what are the
I can't believe that's where you would go.
What are the top 3 movies that I watch off the cusp? What would you say the 3 movies that you would think I watch the most? What would they be?
13 hours.
Okay.
Den of Thieves, maybe.
No, take your opinions out of it. Me.
I don't know. What are the other 2?
Predator. Right now, it would probably be a toss-up between Maverick and The Covenant.
All right, so military-type movies.
Right.
Why is it that... what is the... People have such a bug up their ass, and they've always had it, about pro wrestling. Yes, I know. You literally...
I
did. Hang on.
Not get it twisted.
No, I didn't say anything to you. I was sitting here eating my dinner. I happened to come across a reel, and then you said something negative about pro wrestling. Who cares?
Did not. I just said I'm surprised you like it, and that was a literal assumption. Is all it was. Is that I'm surprised you like it. That was a perfect opportunity for you to go. Yeah, here's why I like it. I grew up in a wrestling household. Okay, like I get it. However, when Bill Goldberg lost in like 98 or 99, and my dad was like, fuck this, because he was so mad. Like, it just was something we didn't watch.
My point, if I may.
Yes.
My point is that we watch Snowfall, we watch Breaking Bad. There's no TV show that we ever watch where you're like, this isn't real, right? This is fake. Like, what? Like, who does that? There's no... You are
twisting up.
Oh, my God.
Your emotions are
emotions.
So high right now.
Oh, my emotions. Did you or did you not say fake-ass wrestling? Did you not say that? I did not. What did you say?
I used the word fake, but I didn't say fake-ass wrestling.
You said fake-ass kicking.
Fake ass kicking in the literal sense of like you're gonna kick someone's ass.
They're not really fighting in Predator, Morgan. They're not really fighting in 13 hours. Have I ever come in while you're watching? Hang on, wait.
The answer is yes. Wait. You come in literally 7 days a week and go, I can't believe you're watching this
because
again.
You watch it all the time. Wait.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, why do you like this?
Okay, let me ask you this. Have I ever come in and said to you while you're watching 13 Hours or Predator and said, that alien is fake, right?
Yeah, yes, like in your way, yeah, you don't go, that alien is fake, right? You're just like, you would say something like, that Arnold would not really be able to kick that guy's ass, right? Like, if it was real, like...
You're reaching.
You're the one you're getting real up in your feelings. It is not a negative. I think it's great that you have your finger in everything. You know about every... sport, every sport. We'll just say all the sports, right? Like you do. I think it's great. Like I don't give a shit, and you listen and watch wrestling clips more than any other sport I ever hear coming from your phone. It doesn't bother me. I just said I'm surprised. Okay. That's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. And
But
if I was going to watch wrestling today, I would only watch wrestling for the dudes running around in fucking Speedos.
okay, I feel like you're trying to insinuate that the only reason why anybody would watch wrestling is because of like some pseudo homoeroticism, and that's not true.
First off, you're twisting everything I'm saying. I'm telling you why I would watch it.
Okay, why do you think I watch
care.
it? Okay,
I have
let me ask you that.
no clue, which is why I said I'm surprised. I think it's entertainment. Like, I feel like there's something in you that finds it entertaining, but it's not the same. I can't even say why you watch it, just for the simple fact you don't want to watch Predator or 13 Hours or The Covenant or any other fucking action movie that I want to watch, because once you see it one time, you're like, cool, yep, done, right? So, I don't know. So, for being the same types of thing, like, it's not like you watch those movies. So, tell me why. Why do you like wrestling?
Okay.
I don't care why. I'm just saying, why
Apparently,
do you?
it came up. All right, here's why people watch wrestling, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. For those who don't know, if anybody doesn't know this, okay? First off, like, you grow up as a kid, you watch pro wrestling because, like, that was the only thing that was really on. There weren't, like, other than boxing, okay?
Which
And
my parents, we were a big boxing household too, so
right.
yes.
So, like, wrestling is catered around characters and it's catered around stories. It's like a running soap opera. And the thing that most people fail to understand about the appeal of wrestling is that soap opera that started in the 1950s has continued to run from then until now.
Mm-hmm.
And the storyline has been interwoven from that day until today. So everybody that owns the company, the people that come into the company to run the company, the people that come into the company to work in various aspects of being a wrestler, right?
Mm-hmm.
From their beginnings to their end, all of those stories are intertwined. Like, just imagine if, like, now when you watch 13 Hours, you see John Krasinski, and part of the appeal of John Krasinski in 13 Hours is what? That he's the guy from The Office. Look at where he started and look at where he's at. He started as this young, goofy kind of guy. Look how hot he is now in this role. Look how much he's grown, how much he's developed, how much he's matured, right? Is there an aspect of that when you watch that movie?
Well, I didn't watch The Office, so I could say yes for the
Do you have that with
half
any?
a dozen, like.
Do you have that with any movie? Like, if you watch, I don't know, fucking Anne Hathaway, or you watch any actor or actress, and you go, man, I remember when this person was in this movie back in '83, and look at where they are now. Like, they're an adult. Dakota Fanning is now 27.
I just thought that last night when I watched her in Uptown Girls, which was 20 years ago.
So imagine if you grew up, you're the same age as Dakota Fanning. You remember seeing her as a kid in certain movies, and when you think about her in Uptown Girls, you're like, man, I was this age, and look at where she was when I was that age and where she is now. And, like, all of the backstory about her drug abuse, the husband that left her, when her parents died, all of these little things about her real life. And then you see her in a movie today and you're like, man, I'm fucking proud of her. Like, I really follow her. I support her. That is the appeal of pro wrestling. Like, when a guy is watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, when I was watching Stone Cold Steve Austin when I'm like 26, 25, why are you laughing? Like, it's not funny. I cannot believe you're laughing at you. Literally were laughing.
Going,
no, you were laughing.
No, I will tell you why internally I was laughing, but you're not going to appreciate it. So continue with your story, and then I'll tell you.
You just blew vape juice all over me. You were laughing your ass. You were holding that in.
I was holding in my thought, but it's not with what you were saying. So keep going. It's when you watched Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I was having a moment
20 years ago.
Like you know where he started. Like, you're like, man, like, this dude is like fucking super famous. What are you laughing? All right. For the record, she's laughing at me, just laughing her ass off.
I'm not laughing at you. Do you want?
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
You're not gonna appreciate it.
I'm going to appreciate it.
No, you're not. When I say it, you're gonna be like, oh my god.
Go ahead.
I just had an epiphany that I'm really turning into my mother, because 20 years ago, My mom was the single biggest Kevin Nash fan, right? And at the time, clearly as a young kid, very early preteen, like I didn't get it. But now at 35, I'm like, yeah, Daddy Nash is a good thing. So that's why I was laughing, because I thought, wow, I really am turning into my mom.
I'm trying to have like I was literally trying to explain something to you and like have a moment, and you turned this into a.
It was just, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
But do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Listen, I get what you're saying. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's awesome, and I think it's great. Like that you.
But there's some sort of weird issue with people. You're either a pro wrestling fan, you're indifferent, or you're one of the millions of people that cannot stop themselves from saying, you know that's fake, right? I'm telling you, Morgan, you're one of those three people. You're indifferent, you're a fan, or you're one of the millions of people that literally cannot stop themselves from saying, you know that's fake, right? It's like if you're a dad, the inability to not say, you know, I don't know, I'm not paying to air condition the whole neighborhood. Like there's like dad sayings, right?
Right.
There is literally, there's something about people's need to say that because you never feel the need to say that about any other TV show that people are watching.
Okay.
You don't go, hey, you're going to see Star Wars. You know that's fake, right? It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yes, I will say as someone who does not, and for 20 years has not watched any type of pro wrestling, right? And who doesn't run in circles necessarily of like I don't know anyone who throws pro wrestling parties like we used to whenever
right, that
my
was
dad
the thing
watched,
back
right?
in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So versus UFC, we know people who go, hey, fight Saturday night, come over.
Right.
I don't have anyone who does that. So the one thing I'll say is I get what you're saying. You're either for it, indifferent, or vehemently like, oh, that's fake, and you don't like it. But no one has ever explained to me I've never heard anyone explain wrestling like you just explained it, though, which makes sense. Where you go, you're watching a literal continuous story or soap opera, or it's like a never-ending seasoned TV show.
But it's layers. You're watching it for the storyline of the soap opera, but you're also understanding the backstory of the characters. Like people are always like, why are you so emotionally invested in something that's scripted, right? But you're not cheering because The Rock beats Triple H. You're cheering because you understand that his dad was a wrestler, was a black wrestler in the 70s when there was literally a color barrier that he could not break. Despite the fact that this guy was physically better built than 90% of the guys that he was working with, despite the fact that he had a look that would have been marketable, he was black, right? So then his son, who had dreams of playing pro football and doesn't make it, goes to play in the Canadian Football League, doesn't make it, comes to be a wrestler just like his dad, and everybody fucking hates him. He looks goofy, he's corny, he's kind of like Drake. He's this mixed kid, and nobody knows where to put him. And everybody hates him. And then that same guy says, hey, let me do something a little different. Because he went to the University of Miami, he's around all these swaggy guys. He's like, let me bring that you mentality to what I'm doing. And it blows up, and he becomes this fucking megastar, right?
Right.
So if you know all of that, and you watched all of that, and you watched the progression of that over 20 years, you're vehemently more invested in him having a wrestling match at WrestleMania 2 weeks ago when you realize, hey, this guy's 50 something years old. He's not going to do this for the next 10, 20 years. Like it's almost over. And I've watched this aspect of his career, and I've followed him all the way through to this aspect of his career. Like that's cool. And you're in on the joke just as much as he's in on the joke. Yeah, we're doing this storyline. I'm playing this character. But what you're really cheering is the fact that you've been watching me for this amount of time.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like going to see the Rolling Stones, and you're like, hey, it's Mick Jagger, and he's dancing around. He ain't got the moves he used to have, but you're like,
or Kansas, like
or Kansas, right? But there's a lineage there of what these guys have done, and you're like, you're paying homage to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I wasn't trying to come at you.
Yeah, you were coming at me, bro.
I was not coming at you. You are wild today.
All right, I am not, but each one of us, anybody that's a wrestling fan, they have like somebody in their family that just won't let it go. My dad would never fucking let up. My grandma loved pro wrestling. She used to go to to Barton Coliseum in Little Rock. She loved pro wrestling. She would talk pro wrestling with me. Like, she got me into pro wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, I would go home and try and watch Saturday morning wrestling as a fucking 8-year-old, which is perfectly understandable that an 8-year-old would want to watch wrestling. And my dad would have a fucking issue with it. It's like, I don't need to hear that it's fake, or like, I don't need you to give me a hard time while I'm watching Hulk Hogan fight The Undertaker, who's from parts unknown. He's an Undertaker who decided to wrestle. That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. We went to, I don't know what the name of, if it was a WrestleMania type thing, but we went to one of those at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. And Diamond Dallas Page ran through the crowd because he would always come in through the crowd instead of like coming down the
That's a
ramp.
WCW. That would not have been a wrestling.
Okay, well, I
don't want to, like, you know.
It was. Hold on, it was a WCW.
I know it was. I'm not trying to.
Was it the Wolfpack that Nash and them were in? Okay, because my mom was that, and my dad was a Bill Goldberg fan, and then Paige loved Diamond Dallas Page. But which is funny because DDP ran through the crowd right where we were, and he got to Paige high-fived him when he
I met him, right?
Yeah, and you met Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that, Faggle.
All right, let me see what these comments are. People said about your bullying me. Somebody says, I kind of stopped watching WWE when The Undertaker retired. Yep, I agree. Junkyard Dog was the best. Says, you corny for say that about The Rock, him.
Someone didn't type properly.
Yeah. Somebody says Undercracker.
Wasn't the Undertaker?
Isaiah says, I agree with her. It's lame. Sorry, it just is.
I did not say it was lame, Isaiah. Don't you put words in my mouth. I just don't watch it.
She bullies me all the time. I just want to put that out there.
You are so right.
She's a big bully.
I bully you so much. So much.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just putting it out there.
How you go through life.
I'm just putting it out there that you're mean to me and you're giving me a hard time about wrestling.
I did not. I do not. That is no different than you go, I do not know how you watch these movies all the time. Any movie. You're not wrong. I literally watch 13 hours at least 7 times a week. Which is once
crazy.
A day. Right. And you're like, how do you do that? And I'm like, hot guys kicking ass. Like, what are we talking about right now, right? Lord. Like, it's a little more than that, and it is. It's no different like Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, I love The Covenant and watch it all the time, following it. Like, just certain things, and so... But it's no different than you being like, I don't know how you watch this all the time. And I'm like, I don't know, but the heart wants what it wants.
That's right.
And my eyeballs want what it wants on the TV. So
right, we stand on that. We stand on that. Somebody says the 4 horsemen. Woo! That's right.
I can't remember the name of...
Hey, for those who don't know, I got to do... this sounds absolutely stupid to say out loud. Because he's 7'3". I did security for Kevin Nash. We got to...
Like, when? Oh, we've been together 8 years.
2015. 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do security for a regional wrestling promotion. They would bring in all kinds of retired people, and it's kind of like the minor leagues for WWE because it's located in Pennsylvania. So if someone was hurt and they were rehabbing before they came back to actual television, they would go to this Pennsylvania Wrestling. I think it was called Pennsylvania Wrestling Incorporated or something like that. So I got to meet Kevin Nash, EC3. I got to meet Al Snow, Billy Gunn, AJ Lee, a whole bunch of people. Yeah, we don't know who any of these people are. So
I know who Kevin Nash is. We should make a list of all the famous people you've met.
I have met a lot of famous people.
Yeah. I've only met 1.
You know me. I'm famous.
And a half. Yeah. I do.
That should be enough. That should be enough.
Wait, so that would be two whole people. Two whole famous.
All right, guys. I met. Somebody says, "What about Ass Man Billy Gunn?" That was his name. Yeah, I got to meet Billy Gunn in Pennsylvania. He was cool.
I don't know.
And did in fact have a nice behind. He called himself Ass Man. That was his. Which, as a kid, like, I don't know why we never thought that was like a little suspect. We thought it was okay somehow. Somebody called himself the Ass Man, but.
Well, I mean, just...
He didn't say it like I'm a ass man, like like I'm into ass. It was like I have a nice ass. I'm an ass man. It was weird. Yeah. Never explain wrestling stuff like this to people. It just always sounds more suspect than it should.
I'm just gonna have to Google it now.
All right.